You're listening to Living Out Loud with my mom, Michelle Flamer. Yep, she's a flamer and proud of it. Get ready to learn about queers in your communities doing great things every week.
Hey everybody, I am so excited we are back. Today's guest, I know I get really excited with every guest, but today's guest is a woman whose work didn't just change media, it changed lives. Franco Stevens is the visionary founder of Curve, the world's most iconic magazine for lesbian and queer women, and the force behind the Curve Foundation, a nonprofit dedicated to preserving our stories and amplifying new ones. At a time when queer women were nearly invisible, she created a platform that became a beacon of representation, community, and courage. Her work has bridged generations, empowered voices that weren't being heard, and safeguarded 3 decades of our collective history. Wait till you guys hear about this. Franco is not only a pioneer in queer media, she is a keeper of our stories, a builder of community, and a leader whose impact continues to ripple across the world. I am not exaggerating. I am honored to welcome the powerhouse, the trailblazer, and the heart behind the Curve Foundation, Franco.
Hi, thanks so much for having me today. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate you in all the ways. You're just amazing. What a force. So, um, in order to sort of understand where you go, the arc of your life, I love going back and finding out how you became and if you'd share your coming out story, we would be honored to hear it.
Absolutely. So, like so many other people my age, I didn't have any queer women role models. So I didn't even know it was possible to be a lesbian. When I was about 18, I got married to a man because I thought, hey, this is what I'm supposed to do. And we moved to San Francisco for his job. And then I was taking a class at university called Variations in Human Sexuality. And one day it hit me like a ton of bricks. Oh, wait a second. I am a lesbian. And then looking back on my life, it made a lot of sense, like all the crushes that I had, the girls that I told I loved them. But then I'm in this marriage, and what do I do? So I
Yeah.
thought the best case scenario was to come clean and let my husband know. And he responded like I'm sure a lot of men would, as long as you don't sleep with other men. I mean, yeah, other men, sorry. Sounds so weird coming out of my mouth.
It does
Like,
sound weird.
and you tell me absolutely everything, I think this will be okay. Um, but as I discovered myself, I realized this wasn't going to work for me, and I needed to live my authentic life. So flash forward a couple of months, and him and I went to a family reunion where all my family was in a house for what we called Beach Week in a beach town, and we were all staying together. It was pouring rain, and I had a girlfriend, and she called, and so I ran upstairs to like talk to her on the phone, and my husband at the time picked up the phone and went, you can't be having this conversation. And we had a fight, and he went into the other room where my whole family was playing board games and announced that I was lesbian and that I was leaving him.
Wait, so he outed you?
He totally outed me.
God, dang, you didn't even get
100%.
the pleasure of saying it yourself.
Nope.
Actually, that's really harsh.
Yeah, so, my whole career in media, we face this challenge of like, do you out people? And because I was outed myself, I have a little bit of different perspective on that. But anyway,
I mean, did you
so
see it as a good thing that he did the work for you, or were you
no,
like pissed
no,
afterward?
I was really upset.
Yeah.
And my parents were very upset because they had just paid for this big old wedding like a few years before. And um, things got really bad at home when we got back, and I took the clothes on my back and moved out and lived in my car.
Wow.
So I have this
Wait,
experience.
do you have a relationship with them now? Your parents?
Unfortunately, oh, with my parents, well, my dad's since passed, but
Okay.
not long after, both my parents sort of became my everything. Like
Aw.
they, you could find my mom wearing a Curve shirt, selling magazines in a Pride booth.
I love her.
She really realized that nothing is more important than her kids.
Yeah.
And if she sees any LGBTQ plus folks who don't have that same, she'll just give them a big hug. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Wait, so how old were you when you like had your first that first relationship? How old were you at that point?
My first relationship with a woman, or,
Yeah.
well, I had my first relationship with a woman at 15, but I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
And I really had no idea that I was a lesbian. None. Like,
Me
even though
either.
all those softball coach crushes, like, what? It all makes such sense, right?
It really does. It's so funny. All right, so let's get into the origin story a little bit here, like take me back to the moment when you realized there was no real space for queer women's stories, and like what did you feel in your body, your spirit, that pushed you to like create Curve in the first place? And the second part of that is what made you call it Curve? Just, I mean, I think I have an idea, but as I said it out of my mouth, but yeah, just would love to hear it from you.
So I was working at the gay bookstore in the Castro, which I had first gone into looking for a magazine like Curve, and I realized, wait a second, this doesn't exist. And there was one woman on staff, and that was it. And I begged to get a job there because it just seemed like an amazing opportunity to be right in the heart of all this gay culture and learn as much as I possibly can.
Yeah.
And through the course of working there, other women would come in kind of looking for the same thing that I couldn't find. And I thought, somebody really needs to do this. Somebody should make a magazine.
You
And
filled a
then
void.
you
You
say that
literally.
enough times and you go, oh, yeah, if you want something to change, you better get off your butt and do something about it. So at the age of 21, I was like, that's it. I'm starting a lesbian magazine. Something that's color and glossy, and you'll be proud to have on your coffee table if your mom happens to walk in. Problem, I don't know anything about publishing. I have no money. I'm only, 6 months out of living in my car on Castro Street.
Wow.
It's kind of a big jump. So there were hurdles. Anything that's going to change the world, I think it's not going to come easy. So I hung up a sign in the bookstore that just said, writers and photographers wanted for new lesbian magazine. Because we didn't have the internet back there. We're talking this was the end of 89 or the beginning of 90. And we got 300 calls in a month. Yeah, it was incredible.
Wow.
Just people walking by, and if we needed a photographer was like, I'm a photographer and I want to contribute. Oh, I'm a writer, I want to contribute. Oh, wow, people are really interested in this.
The energy must have just been so cool around it.
It was a time in San Francisco, especially, where queer women were very into their sexuality. On the flip side, they were also very into helping their gay siblings with the AIDS crisis. So we were losing friends And I felt like that was just another reason we needed a positive outlet to lift us up and to say we're here and we're beautiful no matter who you are and how you dress or look. But the magazine wasn't called Curve at the beginning.
Yeah, it was called, it was another name. What was it? It was like, start with an S or something? I cannot remember. A
It
D.
started with a D, you're right.
It was like,
And
it was an interesting name. Was it Greek? It's like Greek origin or something?
French,
Oh, it's French.
named after my first girlfriend's last name. And we actually got sued over over that name.
Oh, wait,
5
so
years
we're
into
not allowed to
producing
talk
the
about it
magazine.
now? So we can't
Yeah,
mention it.
just what's a public record, Anyone can look it up. It's very public
Yeah,
in the
yeah, yeah.
public. Like
Yeah, I
I'm just not
remember it
allowed to
being a
say.
different name, though. You're right. That's funny.
Yeah. So we had to change the name at year 5, and
Oh, I didn't realize it was year 5. Wow.
year
Okay.
5, yeah. And finding the perfect name, I mean, it was all consuming. And one day I was sitting in Boulder, Colorado, actually in the mountains in Sugarloaf above Boulder. And I looked and I was like, and those curves of the mountain are so beautiful. And then I thought, curves of a woman's body. And I thought, curve, not straight. Okay, boom, there you go.
So brilliant.
And it's a lot easier for people to remember and pronounce.
It is. It's so easy to remember and pronounce. Because I could say, hey, have you heard of Curve? And they go, Curve Magazine? And I'm like, yeah. They're like, yeah, I have heard of it. It's cool. It's like, it's the first sort of thought that they have. So in the early 90s, like visibility came with a risk, right?
Completely. And, in a way, doesn't it still?
Yeah.
Wasn't it about that time that you and I met?
Yeah.
Yeah, so back to this idea of outing and who is in charge of their own story. People really need to be in charge of their own story, unless, of course, you're actively trying to hurt us. Then, I say that, you deserve whatever you get. But it was a time where Don't Ask, Don't Tell was coming in. That we had a lot of women who read the magazine that were in the military. They couldn't be out for family reasons or job reasons. It wasn't a safe place. So
You might
we
not
thought,
know this, but I served during Desert Storm during Don't Ask, Don't Tell.
thank you.
So
That's,
I remember those times, and I have a lot of stories about that. But
ooh, I want to hear them.
oh yeah, well I'll share them with you offline.
Okay, good.
But yeah,
Please.
no, for sure. Just keep telling the story because I know it's a good one.
Sure. So we were like, okay, do we send some magazines to subscribers in a package and some out? Just plain through the mail, because you could just send a magazine through the mail back then. And I thought, what if those lists got mixed up? And somebody who's supposed to get a magazine in an envelope gets one in not. So for recycling reasons, it wasn't the greatest, but we decided to seal every copy of the magazine that went to somebody's house. It probably looked like straight up porn because it was wrapped in, first it was wrapped in,
It was wrapped in brown craft paper, it was. I know. It was.
and then later it was wrapped in like black plastic, which even looks more sketch.
I think, yeah. I remember that though. It's so funny. But the discretion was important.
Yeah,
The
I mean-
discretion. Yeah.
Anyone who's been outed or is fearful of their life, their job, their families, that's not mine. They got to come out when they feel comfortable. And I hear all these stories about people the only place they could get the magazine was like a newsstand or Barnes and Noble or something. And they would go and put the magazine inside another magazine to like go and then slide it onto the checkout counter or read it inside another magazine. And we realized by putting the word lesbian on the front cover, you were essentially coming out every single time you wanted to buy it. Every single time you wanted to have that shipped to your house.
But
In fact, one of the Curve employees told me this story not too long ago. She's like, you know how I came out, right? And I was like, no, I don't really have any idea. And they said, my mom found copies of Curve magazine under my mattress.
Oh my God, that is classic. That's really great. But I mean, that's one way to that's one way to come out.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Um, so it definitely wasn't just a magazine, it was like a lifeline for us. We didn't have the internet back then.
Mm.
It was like it felt like a little time out in our days that we
Mm.
had this. And I remember from one of my friends, she really loved it. And then all of a sudden, a few other magazines started to come out, and it was like, but you started it all. I mean, Curve magazine was the first, and we don't forget our first.
I love that saying.
I know it's true though, but it was a lifeline for so many, it's like what was that emotional heartbeat? What did Curve look like behind the scenes during this time?
Behind the scenes of Curve magazine, a little smoke and mirrors. Like people would call up and they're like, "Can I have the distribution department?" And then I'd be like, "Okay, hold on." And then I'd change my voice and answer the phone like, "Distribution department, how can I help you?" Like it's like five dykes sitting, in an office. Things were definitely different back then, especially before the internet. Not only was there no internet, but the dynamic of workplace culture was really different. Like I had a rule, you have to wear clothes. And I have a rule that you had to wear clothes at work because guess why?
Why?
Someone didn't want to wear clothes at work.
You had someone who literally wanted to just work naked?
Well, it was more like I want to wear jeans or shorts, but no top. Like, we went to, women's festivals and stuff where clothing is optional and you come home and you
True.
feel really confined by your clothes. And why do you have to wear clothes at work? So I had a rule, clothes. I never had a rule of no having sex with your girlfriend at the office, but that also was an issue. Yeah.
Oh my God, these are like true hashtag lesbian problems.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
incestuous.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was kind of glad I never like dated in the group. Like I learned very early on that that was just like a faux pas, but everyone did it except for me.
I didn't do it either. No,
Yeah.
I did
Well,
not.
you and I are serial monogamists, so clearly.
Oh, you didn't know me back in the day. I was definitely not a serial monogamist. I was traveling all over the country and all over the world,
Were
and
you
there's
a
a lot of
playa?
women out there that just, yeah. I mean, until I met my wife of now 17 years, I was anything but monogamous. After my husband and I broke up, I was like, mm-mm, I'm not interested in ever getting married again. But I think gay marriage should be legal because people will want to, should have the equal rights, but it's not for me.
So are you guys not married right now?
Oh, we are totally married.
Oh yeah,
We
okay,
are
good.
we are married and monogamous,
Yeah.
but like from the time that I yeah, I just I didn't want to I wanted to experience what it was like to be footloose and fancy free. And there were a
Yeah.
lot of women that were okay
Needed
with
to
that.
advertise.
Oh
That
my
just
God, you're cracking me up. Hey, back in the 90s, we used to have like sex parties and sex clubs, and that wasn't exactly my scene. Like I would go and I'd hang out, but I'm not really an
you
exhibitionist.
you probably
But it
just
was,
called it a curve retreat.
oh, yeah,
I could have come up with some really good code language for you back then, I think. No.
uh, We still have, my mom made up this thing. Anytime now she sees a gay person, she's like, "Oh, is that a friend of Frank?" So now we just say FOF. Like,
I love that.
it's like
I love
the,
that. So wait, talk about like the you preserve decades of queer women's history through the Curve Foundation. And when you think of like your legacy, what are you most grateful to leave behind?
well, I'm not done creating that yet, first off. But we took every issue of that other Curve magazine that was ever printed, and we, through the Curve Foundation, archived that, and it's available for free online for anyone who wants to go and check what it was like in the 90s or relive a part of lesbian history. And at curvemag.com, you can just go and peruse that and use it for learning and experiencing what it was like. And when my wife and I founded the Curve Foundation, we believed the magazine and all of its assets should really belong to the people and not to one person. It's a community asset. So part of what we do is we preserve lesbian culture, queer women's culture. Part of what we do is we uplift the next generation of journalists that are telling the stories of our community like only we can. And then the third thing that we do is we create culture for our community. So we spearhead Lesbian Visibility Week for all of the United States. We do events from, small. We just had a lesbian pie eating contest. I don't know if you got word of that.
I died laughing, and then
Yeah.
I, of course, had to repost it because it's awesome. 88 years old. She was such a ride. She needs her own show. She's like amazing.
Oh, trust me,
She
she
could be
wants
like
her
the
own show.
female Benny Hill. Like she's
Trust me, she
hilarious.
wants to be it. So you're talking about Babs, and Babs I've known for, I don't know, 20 years.
That's
My
great. I
wife
love her.
is a filmmaker and owns a film company that does stories about queer women. That's all they do. So she did a short that's about Babs now. So when we started to do the pie eating contest, I was like, Babs, you're going to compete in this contest.
I love it.
Yeah, so it's pretty fun. And we have some outrageous things planned for Lesbian Visibility Week coming up in April. So if you think that was funny, wait till you see the next stuff. It's about time we need to feel good about ourselves. The climate in this country is just horrible.
Well, that's why I created Living Out Loud. I wanted to highlight queer voices and amplify the folks who are doing amazing jobs in our communities, like you. And like I just talked to the senior secretary of human rights, from the Human Rights Campaign, the senior Jared Keller, and he was fantastic. I'm going to be talking to GLAD. Sarah Kate said she'd come on with me, and there's so many amazing Trevor projects, so many amazing nonprofit and organizations, but also politicians, that I'm speaking to, and really just want to normalize that what we're doing out there, like how all these people affect the community, are positive influences, wonderful role models, and just continue to like really be a positive corner, a little cog in the gay wheel, right? Like I just want to be a little part of the goodness that we can counteract the evil that's happening, in the country right now.
Thank
But
you so much for that work, because they're trying to erase us. They're
yes,
actively trying to erase us.
Yeah.
And without stories being told in authentic voices,
yeah,
they'll get their way. But we
Yeah.
can stand up and we can do something about it.
yeah, and that's what I'm trying to do is just get more voices to be heard. I'm also asking for people all the time, like, hey, if you know somebody amazing in your community, who's, helping trans youth or helping queer, youth organizations, or a teacher who's just amazing and is just whatever, whoever it is. It could be a garbage man who's killing it in the Midwest by helping young, gay and lesbian kids. Like, who knows? Like, but I just want to know these stories, and I want to share them. And I think it's really important, as you know, because you created something at a time where we needed it. And then there's a lot of us out here right now who are trying to do good with whatever voice we have, right? Again, it's like ripples in the ocean. All of our voices are just bigger ripples.
Yeah, and we are stronger together, so keep telling those stories.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you know the
So,
Curve Foundation is actually and maybe somebody listening to this will help me understand if this is true now, but I was told that the Curve Foundation is the only national nonprofit focused on queer women's culture and stories. The only
I,
national nonprofit for queer women.
yeah,
What?
yeah. And how can people help before I go on to, like other stuff here? How can people help you keep doing what you're doing? What are some really helpful ways?
Well, the most impactful way to help is by making a donation of any amount. If you
Okay.
can stretch your normal giving, that would be amazing. You can come to our events. You can share our socials. You can tell somebody you love them, that's having a hard day. Really, there's lots of ways to get involved. We have a national lesbian visibility week planning committee, so that if somebody lives in anywhere in the country, they can join us and learn how to activate, lesbian goodness in their little corner of the world.
I
So they,
love that.
yeah, they can just go on thecurvefoundation.org and do that. Or they can nominate somebody for the Curve Power List, which is open right now.
Love
And all
that.
those people you were talking about. Yeah, so our nominations are open for the most impactful women in the community now.
I love that.
And they can nominate them at lesbianvisibility.org.
Okay, cool. I'll put it in the show notes also, but that's awesome. I love that. So you've been doing this for like 30 years now, 3 decades, more, four, yes,
30,
decades.
34 years. 34
Wow.
years.
And you've
Curve's been
created this,
around for 34 years, yeah.
it's incredible. You've created a bridge between generations of queer women, trans women, and now non-binary, because I say now because I'm such an OG that it's still a new term, for us, older girls. But what are the most important lessons you hope younger queer people understand from the women that came before them?
Well, the reason why I could do Curve Magazine is because I stood on the shoulders of others. First and foremost, the people who paved the way for me. I hope any future generations will, build upon Curve and use it as a springboard. Now, I would say that being true to yourself is, for me, the most important thing. So what can future generations learn? Our terminology, our language is constantly changing and evolving. I think now we have more ways to identify, and the most important part for me is that we stick together. So you don't need to be using the term lesbian yourself to uplift somebody who decides to use that term. But you can stand beside them, just like I do. I use multiple terms to describe myself. And I know that we're stronger together. So if we can stick together, we have so much more collective power. And let people identify as they want to identify.
Yeah, I think that's beautiful, actually. So well said. what story from Curve's archive still moves you today? Like the kind that stopped you in your tracks when you first read it, what still really like, yeah, gets you fired up? Which articles or
Every time I revisit the archive, I'm constantly blown away at the content we produced. At the beginning, we put everyday women on the cover because that's who our friends were and those were our models. And then we got the opportunities to start gaining attention from lesbians to lesbians and having them on the cover. And then we realized the more appealing the cover is, the more we could get the readers to pick it up and read what was in the inside. And every single issue is just incredible. I'm thinking about the articles that the late Victoria Brownworth wrote for us in almost every issue, talking about the challenges that our community faced, whether it be whether by law or by families or by relationships. Her work was just incredible. And I'm also thinking about queer women's place in history. So we did an article about, I think it was like the 25th anniversary of Stonewall, which now is like 25 years ago. So it's like the 50th. And I went back and we did an article about the women who were there in the Stonewall riots that never got talked about. And the activists at that time and the activists 25 years later and the 25th anniversary of that, who were, still fighting for our rights 25 years later.
Yeah.
But I also remember all the coverage we gave to like the L Word and the exclusive interviews we had with Jennifer Beals and and Jennifer Chaikin and
The cast.
the cast, yeah.
You talked to all the cast.
Yeah. And
it's-
I just made a mistake. It's not Jennifer Chaikin. That's my friend.
Eileen.
Eileen, thank you. Sorry,
welcome.
Eileen, because you're clearly listening.
I'm sure she is totally listening right now. No, that would be amazing, actually. But no, I think.
Oh, wait, there's another thing that I wanted to say. I'm sorry, so didn't mean to cut you off, but I just got so excited.
No, I
to
love
say.
it. You're not cutting me off. I love it.
We used to run this column every issue called Out in Front, and we'd pick one woman in the community and just highlight what she was doing. And we had a 19-year-old Rhodes Scholar with purple or blue hair named Rachel Maddow that nobody ever saw
Right.
at 19 or 20 years old. And
Wow.
she's just such a cute little baby dyke.
I mean, yeah, she is such a powerhouse. Like, have you gotten a chance to interview her again any recently?
I met up with her maybe, I don't know, about a year ago. And we just talked and she was like, I loved those photos and she signed some magazines for me and
So
I
sweet.
still have them. Yeah, she was just very grounded and nice. So
That is nice. I mean, she's so wicked smart. It's crazy. So there was a time where you didn't own Curve, right? You like took a little sabbatical
right.
and then you came back and it was like, oh, Frank goes back.
Well, I don't know that I'm back per se. So what happened
No, I know.
was I got injured working and the pain level just so incredibly hard and finding myself disabled and in chronic pain, it wasn't conducive to running a magazine that's
Yeah.
so demanding. I mean, when I hurt myself, I was working easily 80 hours, 100 hours a week,
Wow.
traveling a lot. So I sold the magazine to another lesbian publisher. And I don't know if you've seen Ahead of the Curve, but there's a movie that was, there's a documentary
On
about,
Netflix.
yeah. So
Yeah.
there's a documentary called Ahead of the Curve. And as the film crew's filming that, I got a call from the owner of Curve saying, we can't make this print publication work anymore.
Hmm.
And that's when my wife and I were like, okay, we have to set up this nonprofit and gift the magazine to the people because that's who should own it. So
That's a labor of love right there, like for real. I mean, it is. And how's your life work balance now? Like, are you are you able to not do 80 hours anymore and you've been able to
I,
like,
I still deal with chronic pain,
yeah.
and I am not an employee of Curve. I
Yeah.
am me. I don't know how to explain me. I just get to bring joy to the lives of lots of queer women, and that's the way I want it.
I love that. I love
Yeah.
it. Um, what do you think we need to be doing better out in our communities right now with the
Standing
climate?
together, standing
Hmm.
together. Yeah, we can't be excluding people from our community, who belongs, who doesn't belong. I mean, I remember a time where it was the gay community and there was no room for lesbians or for bi people or for trans people. Like, why do we have to fight each other when we should be standing together? It goes back to that thing I was saying about the power in numbers.
Yep. Agreed. I don't, and it's really nice now. We're not divisive anymore. We've kind of taken on the term queer, which was used in such a different form with, me growing up, but now
Hmm.
it's like an umbrella term that like really does um, sort of, you know, like allow us to merge together and stand together under this one umbrella that has like so many different stripes and colors now, which is kind of amazing. But I find it to be really, oh gosh, it's just really wonderful to see the evolution of our queer society. And my mom was having a hard time with using that term too, because she's a boomer and that it had a whole other derogatory meaning, for her, with friends and people that she grew up around. But I'm like, no, mom, it's not derogatory. Like you can actually say it in a sentence now. Like it's totally legit. It was
How does
really
she feel
interesting.
about the term dyke?
She doesn't like that. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
even love that. It's a weird term for me to even
Yeah.
say, but it's weird how it grounds you when you say it a little bit. It like puts you in your body in a weird way. What do you think?
Well, I love being called a dyke. I love being called a lesbian. I love being called queer. But the terms we use are not universal. Like, I know women who are like, do not call me queer,
Right.
period.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, like, I'm like, hey, I will call you whatever you want to be called.
Yep.
But I'm
Yeah.
okay with butch. I'm okay with mask. I'm okay with andro. Like, these are all terms
Yeah.
that I use to describe myself. And it goes back to that thing that I said, like, who am I to question how anybody else wants to identify?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, it's for us to say it's, and there's no judgment of how, like you just said, like I'll call you whatever you want to be called. Like that's the literal like respect I can give you as another human being standing across from me. It's like I don't understand all the other stuff, but it's
I
really
just felt like
interesting.
in the 90s, like when we
Yeah.
started when I was on Queer Nation, people were just like, "How dare you use the word?" And I was like, "Well, I'm a lesbian Avenger too, so."
You really are, though. I love that. I see your cape. Your cape's hanging out a little bit. I can see the
I
cape,
think we
though.
should bring the Lesbian Avengers back. Not
I
that they
think,
were ever gone, but yeah.
yeah, I think so too. I think maybe, do you know a magazine that might do like a cool cartoon? Like maybe put a Queer Avengers in like as a cool cartoon in the magazine. I think that would be really cool.
Right. Well, we have a online, Curve is online now. It's a
Yeah.
quarterly. And one of the projects the foundation does in the journalism bucket is we have the Queer Women's Media Coalition, which we started, which brings together all the editors and the publishers of the few lesbian magazines and websites so that we can stand together to
Mm.
uplift each other, tell stories, talk through difficult situations that we face, and do some joint marketing and stuff. So I'll find out if somebody wants to bring that back in our next meeting.
I love that. I bet you're going to get a bunch of people raising their hand and like, I'll do it. I'll get it.
Right?
I think it's just, oh, can you imagine if it was a touch political? I think it'd be insanely cool.
It has to be. I
Yeah, it has
mean,
to feel like the New York, it has to feel like the New York, comic a little bit. That one just it just says it all in one black and white square. Could
yeah.
be
I mean,
interesting.
for people that are listening to this, I really want to know what they think the Cormans community needs now. Like, what is it that we need? What would make your lives better?
I
You
think
know,
because I'm actually talking to quite a bit of the women's sports bars that are popping up. Have you noticed
yeah,
these? Like,
yeah.
I had Jax on from Watch Me down, and
Hmm.
I've been friends with her for 30 years. So, and then I just highlighted Audrey Corley for Boycott, and so
Yeah.
her episode comes out on Wednesday. And then I'm going to talk to the sports bra up in Portland. I mean, I think more of these daytime kind of like hangouts, like because no one, it's not the 90s anymore, even the 80s where, God, we used to meet at the bar like in the middle of the day and it would just be so dark and dingy in there. It was fun because I loved the dive bars. But I think now it's like these wonderful, sports bars and grills are like popping up, and it gives us a place to kind of be seen in the middle of a day, to feel like
Hmm.
you're in community, but you're also like not going to the Buffalo Wild Wings, but you're going to like a woman's sports bar, which is kind of cool. And so I think
Definitely.
there's some of that that's popping up, but I would like to hear what the rest of the community was curious or wants more of, or what the new void is that, Curve can fill, that kind of thing. Because you can't be everything to everyone, but you can be it's close, you can talk about a lot of different topics, and I think that's what I love about magazines is that you can get so much information in such a in such a easy read. Plus, I love the smell of paper, but I still get a few magazines coming to the house, but it's like and I love it. I don't know. There's just a
Which lesbian magazines do you still get, or do you get
I don't
any?
get any. No, I get like Architectural Digest and
Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it?
yeah, it is. It's inspiring, and like Backpacker Outside magazine, I really love.
Mm,
Again, just
well,
more of lifestyle.
remember that there are still lesbian magazines out there that are in print.
I'll have to look them up. I haven't looked up any in a while. Maybe I'll do. Yeah, well, I'll definitely have to share some. That'll be good. I love that. Okay, you ready for some rapid fire?
Let's go.
One word that describes you now.
Feisty.
Yeah, you are kind of feisty. It's cool. A queer icon, past or present. Who'd you like to have dinner with?
Audre Lorde.
Ooh, that's a good one. First album you ever bought.
Wow, you're bringing it back.
It's fun.
Bananarama.
Oh my God, that's great. That is
I don't
great. And
remember the name. of the, yeah.
of the actual
Yeah.
like that album, the title of it. So for you younger folks, we used to have to buy vinyl and put it on a record player. I'm just kidding. I'm sure they know. Is there a book that has changed you?
There are so many books that have changed me. The first one that comes to mind is because I was just reaching out to the author, which is Contourus. So if you don't know that book, look it up.
Conturas.
Yes.
Does it take place in Spain? I mean, because I like how we said it sort of Spanish. Conturas.
It is Spanish, yes, it is
Okay.
Spanish, but it does not take place in Spain, but you should look it up.
Okay, cool. Your go-to comfort food?
Comfort food? Chicken pot pie.
Oof, that's good.
Yeah.
A moment in queer history you wish you could have witnessed firsthand.
The first issue of The Ladder coming out. People are like, what is this? All this stuff. Yeah. That was
You gonna
like
tell
the
me
first
about it?
lesbian magazine. That was like the first lesbian magazine that there was.
Yeah, that's cool. So you wish you were there in the print room or like a part of
I
that?
wish I was there. Like, I remember when I opened the box and held that first copy of Curve magazine and what that felt like. And I wish that I was in the room when they opened that first box. Yeah,
That would have been really
of The
cool.
Ladder. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Really? What kind of tea do you like?
I like all kinds of tea as long as it doesn't have mint in it. And I
That's my
am,
favorite.
oh, I'm sorry. Fresh
It's
mint
okay.
is okay, but like
Okay.
mint tea, no, no, no. Um, and I'm a little bit addicted to boba, so
Ooh, I love a good boba. Do you get the little
mm,
tapioca pearls in there too?
100%,
It's a
100%.
texture thing. It's so
Yeah,
yummy.
yep.
Okay, and then favorite Curve magazine of all time.
Oh, dang, why do you have to ask me that?
I
That's like
know.
asking for me to pick which is my favorite kid.
Kid, I
It's
knew
just
you
not
were going to say that
possible.
as moms. I
No.
know. I
Mm-mm,
know.
mm-mm. Can't do it. Can't do
Okay.
it. How about you? What's your favorite issue of Curve magazine?
Oh my God. It's been a long
Yeah.
time. Probably, I really, really read it during the L word, like during that
Mm.
time. Um, yeah, and I think you also had the Queer as Folk, the two women who played. Yeah, I think like when
We did.
Melanie was on the gal who played
Yep.
Melanie. I can't
Yeah.
remember her name. I think that was a really that was those were really fun. I yeah, I mean, that was such a time in my life that it was really like it just sat like it just was so good. Um, what does living out loud mean to you?
Living out loud means that I am never afraid to be just who I am or grab my wife's hand when I want um, to say to people, hey, if you're having a hard time now, for whatever reason, there's positivity that can happen in your life.
I
And
love
I don't think of myself as a role model. I think of everyone who can just, um, set an example for somebody else as a role model by just like saying, hey, this is me. I'm living my life. This is who I love and it's just part of me. Or this is how I express my gender. Or this is how I dress and it just fits me and I don't have to worry about. Wouldn't it be great if people would just mind their own business and like not worry if I cut my hair too short? Or
Yeah,
not worry about what bathroom I'm going into?
I mean, clearly, I am literally lesbian visibility day every day I walk out. I'm always saying, like, it's fun to celebrate with everyone else for the week, but, that week in April, but I literally live it. Like, I've been surd. I have, it's like, I I wasn't able to talk about my, my sexuality during times of my life, but I honestly have never had like really negative. I don't know if it's because they just already assume I'm gay, but I don't lead
You look
with
pretty
the fact-
gay.
I'm pretty gay. Yeah, I
You
look
look pretty
very
gay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But in the sense of like people, my personality, I think they don't necessarily chalk me, or like ding me because I'm gay also, because like I'm not like, I don't know. I'm just me. Like, it's interesting because when I talk to later in lifers, because that's like a big thing right now. I don't know if
Wait,
you.
I don't understand why later in lifers are like, if you came out after, what is it, 30 or 40? I'm like, that seems too, later in lifers, like, maybe if you came out at 50? Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I think because back in, 15, 16, people were coming out, and seemed a little. I think it's also more around the married to a man for a certain period of years. So it's like later after that, after they do the hetero thing. But it is interesting because they love all the rainbow stuff. And this is my point, was I've been out for so long, I barely own any rainbow. Like, I am just me, right? Like, it's just like every now and then I wear a rainbow gay shirt, and it's funny because it's more like, okay, I'm just gayer. It's
Right.
like, I don't know, but it's really sweet to see them, the pride and the evolution of coming out of a hetero marriage, totally looking femme, and then evolving into who they were really meant to be. And it's really kind of beautiful when you get this like arch, to see their, I don't know, their glow up, I guess you want to say, their unicorn up. I don't know how you.
I love the later in lifers. They're just such like,
They
I mean,
embrace it.
they do. They do. It's like when I was in university and we had some older students in classes, we're like, those people aren't fooling around. They're here to learn, they want to know the stuff, and they're fully invested. Well, these women are fully invested. I'm like so happy for them to find their truth,
Well,
Don't you wish you would have saved some of those t-shirts we had in the 90s?
yes. In fact, I thought I had saved them, but my mom got rid of a ton of stuff. A rain came through, and my stuff was in the garage, classic, and it just got messed up. But I did have a lot of them saved. I mean, my mom saved all of her National Geographics. I'm like, what if I had all of my Curve magazines? Like, that'd have been so dope.
Yeah, I would have been like, can you send me a few of them? Because there's some issues that I have one copy of and it's not even a perfect copy.
Yeah, I wish I had a couple of handful. I wonder if there are any people that do have it. I wonder if we just have to say it out loud on the Curb community. Like, who
Right?
has copies, and just see if they can, like, you should even do, like, who can take pictures of the most copy? Like, we can make it something fun on Facebook, on the,
Right?
I don't know, just something. But I really appreciate you showing up tonight and showing up for the last 35 years for us. I mean, I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart to give me something to read and enjoy when we couldn't enjoy it, It's like when we couldn't be our whole selves out in the world, you gave us a spot to feel whole.
Well, thank you for telling your stories and telling the stories of others that are changing our community, because it's shows like this that keep our community thriving and spreading the good love. And thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure. And I maybe you'll come back again.
Definitely. And if you have suggestions for the Power Curve Power List, I would love to hear those.
Ooh, you know what? Yeah, I like that idea.
Okay.
Thank you, Franco.
Thanks. So good to be here. Bye.
Thanks, Pod. Thanks for listening.
If you liked this episode, please hit the follow button, and remember, sharing is caring. Until next week, stay proud, stay loud.